Welcome back once again. Democracy is about to be undermined in this particular dispensation following the recent fresh court order the court issued recently, compelling and ordering Independent National Electoral Commission not to recognize ADC, the faction led by David Mark. This is a blow on the opposition party. This is a blow to Peter Obi, Atiku Abubakar, El-Rufai, Malami, Dino Melaye and co, and other persons who have stood firmly to defend democracy. On the part of Nyesom Wike, he has actually reacted through his aid and in earnest rejoiced over this same opposition being fought by the court and being nullified, because Nyesom Wike's faction in the PDP does not want to join the coalition. They only want to favor Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and that is the more reason why Bola Ahmed Tinubu had often and always come out to state it clearly that his opposition party members are fighting toothlessly, that he will remain, as you could see on your screen, that he will remain there in office, that his enemies, being the opposition, are using insecurity to see how to remove him from office. This is beyond politicking. Sincerely speaking, if you actually want to get the ticket or you want to be in power, why not do it democratically? I'm going to be showing you what the Independent National Electoral Commission has now received as an order through the court regarding what is actually happening as we speak. And this is a blow on the independent nature of opposition party. I'm going to be showing you all of that and the protest that has now led to what is happening. But before I do that, listen attentively for you to get the briefing of what actually happened recently.
Well, today the matter between some state executive of ADC against the interim caretaker committee of ADC came up this morning for judgment. Indeed, judgment was given in favor of the state's executives of ADC, preserving their tenure. The court held, affirmatively that their tenure has not come to an end, and their tenure will continue in line with the constitution of the party and also the mediation report, final mediation report of the parties, ADR. So as it stands, all the state chairman, all the state executive, both the state working committee and state executive committee of ADC, their tenure is intact and it will expire when a valid national convention of the party has been conducted. Thank you. That is what went on today in court.
Okay, so we would like you to clarify, are you for the Naku Bala
or this judgment, what it actually did was that the so-called Congress they conducted last month, has been nullified, and the convention has been nullified by the court because they did it in violation of the constitution of the party, and that's why the court said that convention cannot hold. So what it means is that the tenure of the state executive committee, the tenure of the state working committee of the party is still intact. So whatever they did, the charade they did last month, court just described it as kangaroo. So it's an effort in futility, and so they are not for Bala and they are not for David Mark. They are for the interest of the party, which the court has just upheld today. My name is IG Ogugwa.
Welcome back once again. This is exactly what has led to this recent peaceful protest held by the ADC youths in Rivers State and across the 36 states in this particular country, because this has now undermined seriously the democracy. Because today the Federal High Court, as you could see on your screen, has nullified the leadership of David Mark in ADC, called the convention they held illegitimate. And this is exactly, it is a surprising thing that has actually blew up in the ADC particularly, because a lot of persons have stated that the Supreme Court should just save democracy. The Supreme Court of Nigeria has consistently held, remember, that lower courts should not interfere in the internal affairs of political parties. There are a lot of proofs over there. Look at March 21st, 2025, Supreme Court judgment. It was stated that no court has jurisdiction to entertain cases bordering on the internal affairs of political parties. Look at the case of SDP versus INEC case. The court reaffirmed the long-settled legal position that the internal affairs of political parties are for the parties alone to determine and are beyond the reach of external interference. Now look at the Electoral Act 2026 as amended, section 83, subsection 5. No court in Nigeria shall entertain jurisdiction over any suit or matter pertaining to the internal affairs of a political party. It also prescribes fines of over 10 million naira or more for lawyers who file such cases. Now look at the exception. Courts may intervene in disputes arising from parties' primaries under the Electoral Act. However, matters such as leadership, conventions, membership, and suspensions remain internal affairs and are generally not justiciable. All in the efforts to stop one man being Peter Obi. This is exactly what is actually happening. The opposition is working tirelessly, yet the APC have continually used the institution, the judicial nature of this particular country to fight opposition. Have you thought of it that come 2027 election, it is just only one political party that is going to file a candidate, being the APC? That this particular persons who decided that democracy must stand firm decided to join the ADC, Peter Obi, Rufai, Atiku Abubakar, Malami, and Rotimi Amechi and co. Now look at the type of politicking that is actually heating up in the ADC, criterion and party. This is what has led to reason. I'll play the video for you shortly for you to see how youths decided to hit the streets, stating that they are not going to entertain this. As if that is not enough, you could see on your screen. Another self-acclaimed chairman of ADC, being Temitope Oga, appeared from nowhere again. We are not even talking about the first, man that came out that he is the authentic leader of ADC. Disputing David Mark's convention and all of that. Now, to speak, look at this man. He stated, "I am the authentic national chairman of ADC. David Mark is illegal. Even their kangaroo convention is null and void." This is now two, factions coming from the same ADC aside David Mark. That's to tell you that the APC is working toothlessly. They are working tirelessly to make sure that they, stop the ADC, stop Peter Obi's ambition, stop Atiku Abubakar, and all of them that is actually working to make sure democracy does not die off in 2027 election. It is not all about 2027. Beyond it, if this thing continues, when calamity continues, it turns to a tradition. If it gets to beyond now, this is what the country is going to face over democracy being undermined. Because come to think of it, the Federal High Court in Abuja, I'll play the video shortly for you to hear from the youths in Abuja, restrained the Independent National Electoral Commission from recognizing or participating in any congress organized by a disputed caretaker leadership of the African Democratic Congress. The court, in a judgment delivered by Justice Joy Adumalik, also barred former Senate President David Mark and other prominent figures in the party from interfering with the functions and tenure of elected state executives. The ruling is the largest development in the festering leadership dispute within the ADC, with clear implications for the control of the party structure. This is what Nyesom Wike likes, because look at, as you could see on the screen, Lera Olayinka, being Nyesom Wike's aide, is one of the one who started rejoicing over this particular judgment. But Nyesom Wike is claiming that he is in the opposition as a PDP party, and they want to file a candidate. It is very clear that candidate they want to file in the PDP is supporting APC in these guys. Let me leave you to listen attentively to the plea and everything. This set of youths decided to march down immediately after the judgment down to INEC office, stating that this is our stand. David Mark stands to be the authentic national chairman of this party. And on the other hand, the Supreme Court is the apex court of this particular country. A lot of persons have called on them that look at the constitution, it is clear there. So you have to oblige and tell the lower court that they don't have the right to do this. Look at cases have proven that the Supreme Court has given a judgment in favor of this same ADC. So what is actually happening? Decided to bring all of this to your view. Enjoy the rest of the video and hear exactly what the youth actually stated. Don't forget to express your reactions and your opinion in the comment section. See you in my next video.
Dear sir, demand for immediate resignation of the ADC leadership under Senator David Mark and Rauf Aregbesola, and the defense of democratic order in Nigeria. We write with urgency and unwavering resolve further to our on Monday, 6 April 2026, wherein the youth wing of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, issued 72 hours ultimatum of commission under the leadership. The ultimatum has expired without compliances. Your failure to act has not only aggravated public concern, but has reinforced the participation of institutional bias, constitutional overreach, and deliberate undermining of democratic norms by the Commission. For the advances of that, the following facts remain incontrovertible. On July 26, 2026, the ADC, July 29, 2025, the ADC held a lawful NEC meeting under the full supervision of INEC. The meeting validly dissolved the Provisions National Working Committee, NWC, and produced a new leadership led by David Mark. With the involvement of Rauf Aregbesola as National Secretary of the party, INEC duly received, verified, uploaded, and recognized this leadership on September 9, 2025. There was no dispute, no objection, and no ambiguity at the time of recognition. Subsequently, individuals who had relinquished their position, they surfaced to challenge a lawful process while the matter remained before the court. The Court of Appeal directed the status quo ante bellum be maintained. The last contest position, which clearly remained the leadership under Senator David Mark. Despite these clear facts, INEC has acted on letters and pending motion without judicial determination, assumed the unconstitutional role of the interpreting court order, disregarded due process and its own verified records, and engaged in actions that amount to institutional sabotage. Let's be stated clearly. INEC has no constitutional authority to interpret court order. The responsibility lies solely with the judiciary. What the Commission has done is neutrally, its compliancy and direct assault on democracy governance. We hereby restate our demand as follows: immediate restoration of the duly recognized ADC leadership under Senator David Mark and Rauf Aregbesola on INEC official portal. A public apology to Nigeria for unconstitutional and partisan actions. Immediate concession of all actions based on letters, pending motions, or non-binding processes. Strict abundance of constitutional limits by referring from interpretation court directives. Demonstrable commitment to neutral, independent, and institutional integrity. The immediate recognition of removal of the INEC chairman for actions that have eroded public confidence in the Commission. Following the expiration of the 72 hours ultimatum, we hereby formally notify you that ADC youth, in collaboration with the concerned Nigeria and civil society organization, have commenced the peaceful and lawful occupation of INEC offices nationwide across the 36 states and the federal capital. The action shall remain peaceful and constitutional, continue definitely, and persist until the full restoration of the legitimate ADC leadership, Senator David Mark and Rauf Aregbesola.